Tossing the Frisbee is usually associated with warm summer days and backyard barbecues. But in Nelson, the passion for ultimate Frisbee has spanned the seasons, heading indoors and bringing about the birth of a new sports club, the Nelson Indoor Ultimate Frisbee League. Kate Knott is a new resident of Nelson, having arrived in the spring of 2011. She used to play basketball, volleyball, and soccer, but upon her arrival in Nelson, she decided she wanted to try something new.
And happened to be walking down at Lakeside Park and saw these guys playing Frisbee and kind of felt like the kid in the playground and went up and said, "Oh, can I play with you guys?" And they were totally inviting and welcoming and gave me all the details of when to come down and check it out. So the next week I joined in and completely fell in love with it. It's very similar to basketball, it's very similar to soccer, even volleyball, any team sport where you're playing defense and offense. If you grasp that concept, you'll probably like Frisbee. There's running involved, a lot of quick turnovers, a lot of pivoting, and it gets the heart rate going. So yeah, any active sport like that, I find it very similar to.
Ultimate Frisbee first came onto the athletic scene in 1970 and has grown from its humble beginnings to a sport with clubs and tournaments worldwide. Ultimate is normally played 7-on-7 on a field 40 yards wide by 120 yards long. The goal is to score points on the opposing team by completing passes to a player in the defensive end zone. The Frisbee can only be advanced by passing, and if dropped, it goes to the opposing team, who pick it up and send it back the other way. What
you're going to see here tonight is a little bit of our modifications for the space that we've got. It's a little bit of a low roof, and we've got some soccer hoops. So in here for indoor, we play 4-on-4, continuous play. Usually we've got about a sub or two per team, and we play again, same thing. Offense has to advance it only by throwing. Any turnovers, the other team picks it up. And what we do is we play that you've got to catch it with your first point of contact being in the goalie box of our indoor soccer here, and then from there you've got to throw it in 3 seconds into the mesh of the goal, and that counts for a point. Then the other team picks it up there and goes back the other way.
This co-ed sport may look easy enough, but there are some tricks to throwing the Frisbee properly, as Knott learned when first joining the Nelson League.
It took me a while to actually be able to throw anything but a forehand. I didn't even realize that you could throw a Frisbee multiple ways. I haven't been somebody who's watched Ultimate Frisbee. I know there are leagues and teams, and it's a national level sport. But yeah, it's just something that hasn't been a part of my life. So that was really eye-opening. And having played basketball or soccer, where you're used to passing, and so you see the opportunity to pass to someone or to throw to someone. So you want to do it, but then you don't know how, and you try, and your Frisbee just kind of goes or into the ground or whatever. That was my biggest challenge. But yeah, there are so many players here that can totally teach you how to do it, and in no time you quickly can pick it up. Like, it's just repetition and practice.
And one of the big draws to the sport is the community that players have built both in their house leagues and internationally.
Well, that's one of the real unique things about Ultimate, and certainly what I've found is, having played kind of around the world, from playing in East Asia to playing on the East Coast of Canada and the US, and playing down the Midwest in the US and throughout BC, is it's a sense of community more than anything. And if you talk to almost anybody out here, it's a great run, it's a great exercise. As a competitive basketball player growing up, I really did like that, and it's self-refereed, so there really isn't the competitive element and the kind of animosity that you see in some sports. So spirit of the game is the #1 thing that you see in Ultimate, and that's really comes out, is that we love to compete, we love to exercise hard, but it's always respecting the rules, respecting each other.
Nelson's Indoor Ultimate League meets Monday evenings at Soccer Quest and welcomes anyone interested to drop in and join them.
Because all you do need is a pair of trainers or running shoes, or a pair of cleats if we're outdoors, and a Frisbee. And if you don't have a Frisbee, that's fine. So we definitely want to continue to grow it as a community sport. If you're up for running around, like, we constantly have subs, you don't have to stay on for any certain amount of time, so you do what you're able to do. Some players maybe can't run as fast as they used to be able to, so they learn how to throw those long bombs and really make nice plays. So there really is a position for someone, or there's enough flow that you can totally feel a part of the team and have a great time.
There's a place for everybody, even if you're just running around catching it and throwing it again. Those of us that have been playing for longer certainly do a little bit more of the throwing, but there's a position for about everybody. And as long as it certainly is still an athletic game, you have to be fit of some sort. But other than that, it's pretty easy for most people to pick up and find some part of it that is familiar to them, and be able to make a contribution pretty quick.
more information on Nelson's Indoor Ultimate Frisbee League, email the club at nelsonultimatefrisbee@gmail.com. For Shaw TV Sports, in Nelson, I'm Christina Krichkowski.